Hey everybody, what's up? Ray here again. We are back in Planet Coaster in Fantasyland. And I want to keep it quick today because, there's just not that much to talk about. So I don't want to waste too much time on everything. So first of all, you can see I have actually removed the draft chase ride here. Simply because this sort of completely indoors track ride would have been very boring to build and probably also very boring to watch me build, and I just didn't want to. So I replaced it with this bumping cars ride and called it Bar Brawls. Basically, you get the idea, right? Although I'm considering to remove this as well, even because it is taking up a lot of space and I probably want to use the space differently. So we'll see, maybe I'll remove this as well and then I'll do something else with this building over here, but we'll see about that. The main thing that I built in this episode, of course, is the backside, if you will, of the entrance plaza. This area right here with the train station and the whole flower bed thing and everything in front of it, which basically, rounds out the entrance plaza and basically finishes that up. So then, with this done, I can now extend this way, which will extend into the magical forest area all the way over here, right? So here, in contrast to all the other sites, I didn't put any facade buildings like everywhere else, but instead I just put these flowers here. I just wanted to have this when you come in, have this open view to the train station here. Right, so this sort of open area. There will be probably just a tree line behind, but I'm not entirely sure how I'll build that, because on this side there will be the building facade for the next area. This will be the central palace area here, the sort of noble area, palace area sort of thing, and the facade will go here somewhere, and depending on how exactly I build this, it will somewhat inform how I will build the forest line here. But the idea is that, you have this sort of pretty white train station here in front of the green background, basically, right? Now here, about the flower beds themselves, there's not too much to say. It's just a whole bunch of pretty flowers. You can see I've lined this lined the edge here with these tulips, and then I just filled in certain areas with different colorful things. You can see towards the back here I'm going a bit more into the green stuff, right? Generally speaking, the green stuff that's green is cheaper and easier to maintain. So these areas that are not as easy to access have the greener stuff, because that's just easier for the park to maintain. You can see I've built this sort of ramp here. This is for for disabled people in wheelchairs and whatnot, and of course also for mothers with strollers or something. I'm not entirely sure how viable this angle is actually. I can imagine that realistically this angle would have to be even shallower, but at the end of the day, this is really just to give the idea. Right, and I didn't just want to spend even more space on this thing, and it's not really functional anyway, right? It's all scenery. You can see that in the time lapse, but I just wanted to give the impression here that the park is, or at least this attraction definitely is for everyone, quote unquote, right? Because we have the stairs here, so it just makes sense to just allow people who are bound to wheelchairs or people with little kids with strollers or whatever to be able to access the train station here as well. And that gets us to the last piece I want to talk about, which is this little area right over here. You can see we have this bridge that the path goes under, and I really like how the bridge turned out. I really love it. And then we have this area here. This is basically the idea is that originally this was just a solid facade wall, and if you look very closely at this building here, you can see that these walls are slightly whiter than these walls. These are slightly yellowed. And so the idea is that this facade on the outside here is a bit older, so it's a bit yellowed, but eventually they built this railway after the facade has existed for a while. and then they just punched through the facade here to make space for the railway. So this side of the building has been built new, so you know that's why it's whiter, because it's just newer, right? It hasn't had time to yellow all that much. And then all of these facades here would be new buildings that have been added to cover up the sides of the build here. Then you know, the sides of the concrete block building that this is. I'm not entirely sure. You can see I actually didn't completely finish all the greenery up here, but at the end of the day I have to see how exactly I'll do this, because I'm not sure if I want to keep this sort of bridge over here. This raised bit has to stay here, because this is where the Elaine's potion mixer ride is in, so this actually has to stay raised, because, you know, just for the space for the ride. But I'm not sure if I want to keep this bridge that bridges over the railway. That kind of depends on what I want to do here, basically, because over here we'll have the pirate area. That's also what the tunnel connects to. Yeah, you can see the tunnel there, right? Also on this side. But I'm not entirely sure if I just want to keep this as one solid building, or if I want to have like a path in through here and have this to be two separate buildings, and this would then be like a backstage path for delivery vehicles and whatnot. And depending on how exactly I'll do things, I may or may not keep this bridge and things like that. I don't really know what to do here, so I didn't 100% finish this just yet. Eventually, if I do keep this bridge, I will have to cover it up with greenery or whatnot, but you know, again, I'm not sure what I'll do here, so I didn't finish it completely. But in here with this thing, I wanted to kind of keep this, well, but not keep, but have this sort of a bit more whimsical sort of fairy tale vibe, right? Like this, there's the fairy tale vibe to the entire plaza, but this feels more like an actual town plaza, right? Where this is more, this is supposed to feel a bit more like a fairy town, if you will. So yeah, that's why I think I did it quite well, but this feels a bit more whimsical, and yeah, that's kind of the whole point of it. So that's basically that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and see you next time. Goodbye.